Happy Friday, Rebels. It's Nick Pendragost here, and today, for this Friday, I am going to be talking about brain fog and balance. Bit of a mouthful, but really looking at the psychological and the emotional symptoms of menopause and perimenopause, albeit the brain fog feels like a physical symptom too. And at the end, some resources or a great resource coming your way. So confusion and forgetfulness are really common signs of perimenopause and menopause. And you know what, this time last year, I could probably tell you what I ate last Tuesday. I had a good memory for, birthdays, celebrations. I could probably even tell you what I was doing this time last year and what I was wearing. But now, you know what? It's in and it's gone out. And I wonder if that sounds familiar to you. And you know what? I used to pride myself on my memory. But I wonder, like me, do you find you forget what you've only remembered, 5 minutes ago? Or do you find your keys are in the fridge or in a place where you just actually can't remember putting them? Or you actually can't remember where you've come into the kitchen? And it's like you're wrestling with your brain into focusing on the matter at hand. So I did a little bit of research, and actually stats-wise, it's sort of 6 out of 10 women will experience brain fog, or the brain fog as I like to call it, or the cog fog during perimenopause and menopause. And it's kind of a bit of an umbrella term for lack of or poor concentration, forgetfulness, poor memory, confusion, struggling to get your words out or getting them all kind of muddled up, or you can't think of the word. I wonder if that feels familiar to you. It certainly does for me. And you may actually be feeling, starting to feel that you can't actually concentrate on your job, or you have that fear of making mistakes, or just that wanting to run away from everything, or even handing in your notice. And if you're struggling with tiredness and fatigue too, that will also factor into how our brains are functioning. So what actually is going on here in terms of affecting our brains when they feel really more like cotton wool? And it's really that sloping off again of that estrogen and testosterone that's affecting our cognitive powers. And there can also be other symptoms of perimenopause and menopause, such as sleep problems, low mood, hot flushes and night sweats, which really don't help us to, fire on all cylinders too. So I'm going to rattle through just some simple adjustments that I found helpful during my perimenopause and menopause. So the first one, again, is about eating well, or that sort of good old Mediterranean diet, which is high in omega-3. So it's feeding your brain. So it's the fish, as I've said, on my feed. It's the salmon, it's the mackerel, it's the tuna, to really help that cognitive function. And if you're not a fan of fish, this is when an omega-3, a fish or a fish supplement could come in for you. What's also great is the walnuts and the chia seeds to cut through your brain fog, flaxseed, again, soybean and olive oils, and then also help you to keep those cogs whirring, those cogs turning, and the healthy fats such as avocados. And if you're kind of unsure how to sort of balance your diet, then do get in touch with a registered dietitian or nutritioner, as I have done over the years. The second one is about staying active. So you may have a job that lends itself for you to be quite sedentary throughout the day. Obviously, over the last 18 months, we found ourselves more sedentary and sat at our desk maybe than sort of running for the tube, running for the train, or doing our sort of power walk to and from work. So I guess it's important to get up and stretch. Get up from your desk every 20 minutes and have a good old stretch. Practice active sitting. So I know when I sit and I do my work as a counsellor, I try and kind of gently move as I'm in session. You could also think about one of those sort of sit-stand desks as well. And the importance of including some cardio exercise, maybe up to sort of 5 times a week if you can. I'm thinking brisk walking, jogging, cycling, but do something you enjoy, and that way you're going to commit to it. And then it's the good old strength-based exercises, whether that's, you know, body weights or weight, lifting weights and weight strengthening too. And getting plenty of sleep, so resting up. You know, it's always good to think about doing a bit of a tech detox. So the time it comes to sort of 2 hours, you know, before the time you get into bed, then switching off your phone, switching off that laptop or that iPad, so you can just sort of detox from technology. Eating earlier in the evening is always a good one, and trying to avoid alcohol if you can, or caffeine, just before you kind of go to bed. Maybe think of those herbal teas instead. You know, if you tend to get quite hot in bed, also to help you sleep well, think about sort of the bamboo bedding, lets your sort of skin breathe, or bamboo pajamas as well. And I have it sort of a little lavender spray, sort of a rollable that I sort of roll onto, you know, my wrist, or you might want a sort of a diffuser, or just a sort of a lavender mist on your pillow as well. And keeping that brain active. So I'm a big fan of dance. I'm not really thinking strictly ballroom, but maybe something like Zumba, you know, even just dancing around your lounge, just to kind of get those endorphins going and to kind of keep your brain active. Puzzles are good too, but make things easier for yourself. So whilst I had a great memory in the past, now I've taken to diarising things, putting reminders in my phone, in my diary, because once it comes in, I make a note of get it written down before it kind of quickly goes out the other side. And don't forget that Google for reminders can be your best friend too. And the final thing I wanted to talk about today was balance, so getting that balance. And this is where a really helpful resource comes in, and that is the Balance app. And you may have heard of that's something that the menopause doctor, Dr. Louise Newson, who's a menopause specialist, is running. And you can download it, you know, from your phone, from the App Store. And what's great about it is they've made some changes recently. So there's a vast menopause library with articles, with podcasts, and it's also got a symptom checker as well. And that way you can download the app, go on in, just register, make note of your symptoms, maybe on a daily, maybe a bi-weekly or even weekly basis. And then you've got a list of symptoms that you can go, if you like, armed with your GP to say, actually, this is what I'm experiencing. Can we have a chat about this? Could actually this be signs, symptoms of the perimenopause? And with that Balance app, something maybe to check in and listen to that I've been doing recently is Davina. Good old Davina had a program out on the TV recently. It was probably a couple of months ago now, but she has been doing a regular sort of videos on Instagram every day during Menopause Month, which we're now coming towards the end of October, so sort of tune into her, and she really sings the praises of that Balance app too. So thank you for listening. You know where I am, thinking about therapy that can really help with that brain fog, just to kind of unpick that ball of wool in your head. And I will post my website address in the comments. So have a good weekend, and I will be back on Monday. Bye for now.